What's going on, everybody? This is Sergey from MMA Soap Opera, cause that's what it is. And today we're gonna be talking about the stunner, which was UFC 308. But before we do all of that, guys, make sure to hit subscribe and ring the bell so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. What we're doing on this channel is that we're talking all things UFC, MMA, all the drama that is happening in the background, hence the name, MMA Soap Opera. Cause if you think about it, that's what it is. But yeah, let's jump straight into the main card. One thing that you guys have to know about me is that my mother tongue language is actually Russian. I was originally born in Ukraine, in a Russian-speaking part of Ukraine. But when I was 6 years old, we moved to Czech Republic. So both Russian and Czech are basically two of my native languages. So why I'm talking about this? There's a bunch of Russian fighters whose names keep getting mispronounced all the time. Armen Petrosyan, not Petrosian, as everyone is saying. But anyways, Armen, he just had a fight against Shara the Bullet Magomedov. Oh yeah, by the way, because I'm fluent in Czech language as well. Jiří Procházka. That's how you pronounce his name. But anyways, Shara versus Armen. What can I say? I think that Shara's next fight should be against like Leonardo da Vinci or something like that. Because the creativity of this man is mwah, mwah, mwah. I gotta be honest, I actually bet a couple of coins on Armen to win. So I'm a little bit sad that this ended this way. But overall, I gotta say, I feel like Armen was doing pretty well, especially in the beginning of the first round. He was clipping sharp. But as the fight went, I felt like Shara was better and better at reading Armen's movements. But of course, the creativity of Shara with this double spinning back fist. Crazy stuff. I've never seen anything like this. This is something that no fighter could predict at all. I just watched an interview with Armen who's saying that he actually wasn't knocked out at all. Yes, he fell down pretty badly, but he started guarding because he was expecting that Shara would jump on him. So he waited for like a second, and when he looked up, the referee was already doing like this. So basically, he's not accepting this loss at all. But that doesn't really matter because that was a stunner of a knockdown, and I feel like it was totally warranted for Shara to just get the win. So amazing stuff. That was something that we've never seen before. So congratulations to Shara Bullet Magomedov. Alright, so the next fight on the main card was of course Dan Ige versus Lerone Murphy. And man, this fight was a little bit frustrating to me. Like, what happened to Dan Ige's conditioning? I felt like he was doing pretty well in the fight. He even dropped Murphy in the first round. The only thing that was basically missing was the gas tank. But yeah, overall I don't feel like there's that much to say about this fight. It was Dan Ige's win to take. Like, the finishes were there. He was so close several times. But just the gas tank wasn't there to just push through. And of course Murphy did what he had to do to capitalize on the lack of conditioning of Dan Ige. But also, man, did you see the physique on Lerone Murphy? He was chiseled. Damn boy. But anyways, Murphy gets the win by unanimous decision, so congrats to him. Alright, the next fight on the main card was of course Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic. And I gotta be honest, I was totally expecting Rakic to win. If you look at him, he's physically massive. And he just looks like he's chiseled out of stone or something. Rakic's game plan was of course to pick apart Ankalaev with the leg kicks, or at least it looked like this, because of course if we look at the past fights of Magomed Ankalaev, the biggest problem that we of course saw was in the fight with Blachowicz. It was bad to the point that he was jumping and just clearly visibly showing that he's in such a pain. So in my opinion, that's the reason why Rakic was going after the legs the same way. But Ankalaev was clearly expecting that, and he also said in the interviews prior to that that he was intensively working on fixing those issues. So yeah, man, Rakic looked really great in the first round, but eventually Ankalaev just started picking him apart. It really seems strange to me why Ankalaev is not using more of his wrestling, why he keeps standing like this. But yeah, he gets this job done pretty convincingly, I would say, and wins by unanimous decision as well. I really hope that he's gonna get the Pereira fight, because he's done so much good work, and I feel like it's about time that we give him the chance. Alright guys, now we're gonna be talking about the two big fights, and I gotta be honest, I kinda chickened out. So of course I made two videos in which I was kind of breaking down all of the fighters, Rob Whittaker, Khamzat, Chimaev, Ilia, Topuria, and Max Holloway, and I also sort of gave my prediction on how I think the fight is gonna go, or at least who is gonna win. So in this particular fight, I chose Khamzat Chimaev that he's gonna win. But the problem is, about 30 minutes before the event started, I totally chickened out, and I actually betted some money on Rob to win, which in hindsight was of course a massive mistake. I guess I tend to overthink sometimes. And yeah, I I was just better off to stick in with my guts because, of course, Khamzat Chimaev is an absolute force of nature. It was fairly predictable that he would shoot on Rob Whittaker right in the beginning of the first round. When he did that, like that almost looked like he's jumping in the water. He was in like a Superman position when he jumped after his legs. But yeah, man, takes him down and starts chain wrestling like crazy. Of course, Rob Whittaker did pretty well. At one point, he even stood up. But yeah, Khamzat just changed his position and basically found a way to wrap his legs around Rob's waist, and he was just starting to look for a choke until eventually he found the neck crank. Is that what it's called? A neck crank? Basically, he squeezed his jaw to the point that Rob's teeth broke inside of his mouth. And man, that was such a crazy moment. Like, I'm pretty worried for Rob Whittaker because of course he's gonna need surgery ASAP. But yeah, man, it just shows that Khamzat Chimaev is just absolute beast. This was the kind of Khamzat Chimaev that we saw in the beginning of his UFC career, when he was just mauling his opponents in the way that we've never seen before. But to be honest, I'm really sad that it ended this way. Not because I lost some money, but because I really wanted to see Rob to put Khamzat through his paces. I really wanted to see Khamzat Chimaev in a 5-round fight. I really feel sad for Rob as well, not just because of the injury, but also clearly he was so prepared and he just didn't get absolutely any chance to do anything in this fight. So yeah, man, Khamzat Chimaev is just an absolute nightmare for everyone, not only in this division, but also in the light heavyweight, because he just said in the interview that he really wants to go up. Of course, it's gonna depend on what Dana White and UFC wants, but at the very least, I'm really hoping that we are not gonna wait one more year till his next fight. He's been fighting only once a year for like last, what, 3 years or something like that? We've seen way too little of Khamzat Chimaev in the recent history, and I feel like we have to take advantage of the situation right now, because the dude is clearly in a really good form, in a really good condition. He's healthy, which is quite rare for Khamzat Chimaev, let's be honest. And he looks like an absolute world beater. So yeah, if we want to see Khamzat Chimaev a little bit more often in Octagon, the best way to achieve that, in my opinion, is just to get him fight for the belt as soon as possible, because if he's gonna win, as a champion of that division, of course, he's gonna be getting called out by everyone all the time. Or at least I hope that that's gonna be the case. And that's basically when we could start seeing Khamzat on a little bit more regular fighting schedule, which is of course the wish of the whole MMA world. Alright, the main fight of the evening, Max the Blessed Holloway versus Ilia El Matador Topuria. Right before the fight started, if someone would take a blood sample from me, 90% of the blood would be pure adrenaline, next 5% would be the actual blood, and the rest would be probably coffee. Yeah man, what can I say? Of course, everyone was hoping that Max would show up in the same form as he did against Justin Gaethje a couple of months ago, when he put the stunner of a performance and gave us most likely the knockout of the year. Like, I don't want to come up with any excuses for Max, but clearly in the featherweight he looks much thinner, and even though that's his weight class, that's the weight class where he was the most active majority of his career, and that's the weight class where he also was a champion, I still feel like he got to the point where probably the lightweight is the weight class to go. But yeah man, he tried his best of course, and I feel like he was looking so good in the first and the second round. Obviously he had more strikes landed, and some of the angles and some of the combinations were slick, like he was landing on the chin. But Ilia Topuria, man, that I truly believe that dude is a next level. I gotta be honest, this fight also got me on the hype train of Ilia Topuria. And once again, by the way, the same situation as with Rob Whittaker and Khamzat Chimaev. Totally chickened out. I did a video for you guys where I was talking about Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria, and in that video I chose Ilia Topuria to win. I actually said that I think that Ilia can do Max Holloway in the same way as Volk did Max back in the day. I was wrong there, of course. Ilia Topuria did Max Holloway the same way as Ilia Topuria did Volkanovski a couple of months ago. But the point I'm trying to say, I chickened out once again. 30 minutes before the event, I started overthinking and I totally put my bet on Max Holloway. So yeah man, I should totally learn to trust my gut in MMA a little bit better, but I'm still kind of a newbie. But yeah, Ilia Topuria was absolutely amazing. Super patient, very technical. Of course, in the beginning of the first round, he did exactly what he said that he was gonna do. He pointed to the ground, he tried the Max thing. Max kind of brushed him off with a little bit El Matador action. But yeah, really exciting first and second round. I felt that both fighters looked absolutely amazing. So when Ilia Topuria started landing on Max Holloway, I was just in awe, because obviously no one ever did this to Max Holloway. At least not the same way as Ilia Topuria just did. But yeah man, Ilia Topuria TKOs Max Holloway in a spectacular fashion. I just watched a couple of videos by DC and I really agree with him. He was really gracious both towards Max Holloway but also to Volkanovski. I know that a lot of people people don't really want to see Volkanovski fight against him right now, but I kinda disagree. If you forget Volkanovski's losses to Islam Makhachev, which were in lightweight, in the featherweight division, he basically lost only once, which was his last fight against Ilia Topuria, after he defended the belt a bunch of times. So if there's one fighter on the roster that deserves an immediate rematch, it's clearly Alexander the Great Volkanovski. So yeah, Ilia Topuria, Max Holloway, incredible fight, shocking ending, massive congratulations to Ilia Topuria, that was a spectacular finish. And yeah, what a great event overall. I would probably rate this event as like 7.5 or 8 out of 10, something like that. Alright guys, these are my thoughts on the UFC 308 main card. Let me know in the comment section down below what did you think about my takes, maybe you disagreed with something, so make sure to write it down in the comment section. But as well, if you like this video, make sure to hit like in this corner, but also make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so that you don't miss any upcoming content. Alright guys, massive thank you for watching this video. This was Sergey from MMA Soap Opera, because that's what it is.